Imagine a child who wakes up every day in a world that demands more than they are ready to give. A child whose innocence is swallowed by responsibility before they even understand the weight of it. Perhaps it begins subtly, a parent working multiple jobs, a home that feels less like a refuge and more like a constant challenge, a silent expectation that the child must solve problems that are far beyond their age. By the time this child reaches what should be carefree adolescence, the lines between play and obligation blur, between curiosity and duty, between who they are and who they must become. Psychologists often describe such children as experiencing accelerated maturation, a phenomenon where environmental pressures, family dynamics, or trauma force a child to adopt adult behaviors, coping mechanisms, and responsibilities prematurely. While some may see this as resilience or strength, the reality is often more complex. The child develops survival skills at the cost of their own emotional and psychological growth. Developmentally, children are designed to progress through stages, learning to trust, to explore, to form attachments, to manage emotions. But when circumstances demand rapid adaptation, those stages are compressed or bypassed. They may exhibit advanced problem-solving skills, heightened empathy, or acute awareness of adult conflicts, but underneath lies an internal tension, a dissonance between their chronological age and their emotional experience. The external maturity masks internal vulnerability, a fragile psychological foundation that can fracture under stress. Physically, children who grow up too fast may show signs of heightened stress, disrupted sleep patterns, chronic tension, or psychosomatic complaints. Their brains, still in crucial developmental stages, adapt to perceive threats constantly, prioritizing vigilance over rest, survival over exploration, leading to long-term changes in stress response and emotional regulation. Neurologically, the amygdala, the emotional center of the brain, may become hyperactive, while the prefrontal cortex, responsible for executive function, planning, and impulse control, struggles to keep pace, creating an imbalance that colors their interactions, decision-making, and self-perception. Socially, these children often navigate relationships differently. They may bond quickly with adults, seeking guidance and validation from those who can provide stability, while simultaneously struggling with peers, feeling out of sync with the carefree behaviors expected of childhood. Friendships may be transactional rather than experiential, or they may avoid intimacy altogether, fearing vulnerability. Emotionally, the child may display premature stoicism, masking fear, sadness, or frustration with composure or humor. This emotional armor, while protective in the short term, can hinder the development of authentic self-expression and limit their ability to form secure attachments later in life. The internal monologue of a child growing up too fast is often silent but relentless. I must be responsible. I must protect. I cannot show weakness. These thoughts, repeated daily, shape identity and self-worth, intertwining competence with survival, blurring the boundary between obligation and choice. Research in developmental psychology shows that early exposure to adult responsibilities can create what is termed parentification, where children assume the role of caregiver or mediator within the family unit. Parentified children often demonstrate exceptional organizational skills, empathy, and independence. Yet studies also reveal increased risk for anxiety, depression, perfectionism, and difficulty trusting others in adulthood. They may struggle to ask for help, internalize stress, or experience guilt when pursuing personal desires, conditioned to prioritize others' needs above their own. Consider a child who must care for younger siblings while a parent works 2 jobs, or a teenager who navigates financial responsibilities while still in school. The immediate adaptation is survival and competence. The long-term consequence may be delayed emotional processing and a persistent sense of too much, too soon. Psychologically, these children often develop coping mechanisms that are both adaptive and restrictive. Hypervigilance, meticulous planning, and self-discipline serve to maintain stability in unstable environments. Simultaneously, they may suppress curiosity, playfulness, and spontaneity, viewing them as luxuries they cannot afford. The tension between inner child and imposed adult role can manifest in identity confusion, a subtle yet persistent psychological stressor. Yet not all outcomes are negative. Many children who grow up fast develop remarkable resilience, resourcefulness, and empathy. They often excel in leadership roles, creative problem-solving, and understanding human behavior. The key lies in whether they are afforded support, validation, and safe opportunities to process emotions and explore identity. Therapeutically, interventions often focus on reconnecting with the child within, fostering self-compassion, and providing space for delayed developmental experiences. The narrative of a child growing up too fast is not solely one of hardship. It is also one of potential and adaptability, tempered by the need for recognition, care, and balance. In examining such a child, one sees a paradox. Remarkable competence intertwined with hidden vulnerability, maturity coexisting with unprocessed fear, responsibility blending with unmet emotional needs. Their story challenges societal perceptions of strength, urging us to differentiate between appearance and inner experience. Many who have grown up this way report a persistent tension, an adult exterior with a child still inside, yearning for play, reassurance, and acceptance. Life scripts imposed prematurely shape worldview, interpersonal behavior, and emotional regulation. In adulthood, these individuals may succeed professionally yet struggle with intimacy, may appear confident yet battle self-doubt, may prioritize others yet neglect personal well-being. Understanding their psychology requires acknowledging both the extraordinary skills developed under pressure and the psychological costs paid silently. In practice, caregivers, educators, and mental health professionals can help by creating environments where responsibility is balanced with support, where achievements are celebrated but not expected at the cost of joy, and where children are allowed to experience the breadth of childhood while still learning life skills. Importantly, interventions are most effective when they honor the child's perspective, validate their experiences, and gradually integrate delayed developmental experiences, play, creativity, and emotional exploration into their lives. Narrative therapy, mindfulness practices, and guided self-reflection have shown efficacy in reconnecting individuals with lost aspects of childhood, fostering integration between early matured skills and authentic emotional expression. Neurologically, this process allows the prefrontal cortex to develop alongside the already active amygdala, fostering balanced stress response, emotional regulation, and decision-making capacity. Long-term, a child who grew up too fast can develop into an adult who is both competent and emotionally resilient, balancing responsibility with self-care, empathy with boundaries, and achievement with joy. Society often glorifies early maturity, diligence, and independence, but without awareness of psychological cost, we risk overlooking the silent struggles these children face. Understanding their inner world, providing supportive environments, and cultivating patience, both in caregivers and in themselves, can transform accelerated maturation from a source of stress into a foundation for extraordinary adaptability. Their stories remind us that growth is not merely the accumulation of skills and knowledge, but the harmonization of experience, emotion, and identity. In cinematic or narrative terms, the child who grew up too fast embodies both heroism and fragility, teaching audiences, educators, and parents alike that resilience without nurture is incomplete. We are compelled to listen to their inner narratives, to offer validation where only expectation once existed, and to celebrate not just what they do but who they are beneath the weight of premature responsibility. The psychology of such a child is therefore a study in contrasts: strength tempered by vulnerability, adult-like competence shadowed by unmet emotional needs, an outward calm masking inner turbulence. By examining these contrasts, we gain insight into human adaptability, the limits of resilience, and the profound importance of support, care, and delayed developmental experiences. In conclusion, the child who grows up too fast is a silent teacher, offering lessons in empathy, responsibility, and perseverance, while also reminding us that childhood, its joys, mistakes, and growth, is not a luxury, but a necessity. Understanding their psychology allows us to foster environments that nurture both competence and emotional health, ensuring that early maturation does not come at the expense of the self. Their journey, complex and layered, challenges us to redefine strength, success, and care, illuminating the delicate interplay between environmental demand and personal development, and reminding us that even in rapid growth there is a need for pause, reflection, and support. As society continues to evolve, acknowledging and addressing the needs of children who shoulder responsibilities too early is not merely compassionate, it is essential for cultivating healthy, resilient adults capable of both achievement and authentic emotional connection. By integrating psychological research, therapeutic practice, and social awareness, we can transform the narrative from one of loss and strain to one of potential growth and wholeness, honoring both the resilience and the vulnerabilities of children who grow up too fast.